Hello students, I am Kinjal Parmar. Welcome back to the video lecture series of microprocessor and microcontroller. Our today's topic is 8085 microprocessor memory and input-output interfacing. So let's discuss how 8085 microprocessor can interface with memory or with input-output. So what is interface? This interface is a concept that refers to a point of interaction between the components and is applicable at the level of both hardware and software. This interface basically a interaction between two devices. This allows a component to function independently while using interfaces to communicate with the other components via an input-output system or with an associated protocols. Okay, so this interface is basically a connections to transfer data from one module to other module. This interface and this memory interface is basically a interface for memory transfer. Okay, as the memory is made up of a semiconductor material is used to store the program and data. This a type of a memory is basically a primary or says main memory, RAM and ROM, and secondary memory, that is floppy, hard disk, CD-ROM and magnetic tapes. So this memory is basically a kind of this architecture. Okay, this is a basic block diagram of a memory. Here this memory has 2 N words and K bits per word. Okay, so to access to this word there are N address line. This to write a data there is a K data input lines. Okay, K data input lines, K output lines, and then read and write signals depending on which memory is used. Okay, in a ROM there is only read signal, and in a RAM there is a read signal as well as write signals. Okay, and here to select different types of memory. Here in a memory this chip select is used. Which memory IC is to be selected is basically decided through this chip select. So this is a basic memory block diagram. This memory has a basically integral part of a microcomputer system, and it is necessary to interface a memory chip with the microprocessor. This primary function of a memory interfacing is that the microprocessor should be able to read from and write into a given register of a memory chip. The primary function of a memory interfacing is that microprocessor should be able to read from a memory and write into a memory. Okay, read from a memory and write from a memory is basically a primary function of a memory interfacing. This memory interfacing is basically have a read and write capability. So to perform a memory interfacing operation, the processor should be able to select the chip. Okay, processor should be able to select the chip, identify the register, and enable the appropriate buffer to perform memory interfacing operation. That means to communicate with memory. So to communicate with memory, microprocessor must perform this kinds of tasks. So it has to able to select the chip, which memory is to be selected, which memory is going to be transfer the data. So microprocessor should be able to select the chip, identify the register, and enable the appropriate buffer. After deciding the arrangement of a memory to produce the desired memory storage, the user has to design an address decoding circuit for it. So after deciding the arrangement of a memory for a desired memory storage, the user has to define a address for a particular memory location. So this address can be defined through address decoding circuit. So what is this address decoding circuit. So this address decoding circuit is basically a circuit which will receive the address, okay, which will receive the address from a processor address bus and convert it to the chip select required for selecting each memory module or input output device. So the address decoding circuit will receive the address from a microprocessor address bus and convert that address into a chip select logic for selecting a desired memory module or for a desired input output device. This address decoding circuit has a different lines, okay. So the number of lines required for address decoding circuit depends on the number of memory module. So depending on the number of memory module, there are different number of line is basically used for address decoding circuit. There are different types of address decoding circuit. So two types of address decoding circuit depending on how the address line is used. So first is absolute decoding. In this type of scheme, all the 16 bit of a 8085 address bus are used to select a particular location in a memory chip. Partial decoding, this means in this scheme minimum number of address lines are used as a required to select a memory location in a chip. So if all the lines of a processor is used for a address purpose, so this absolute decoding, and if some line is used for chip select logic, so it is partially decoding, okay. So this is various types of address decoding circuit. Now how we can design a memory interface? So to interface memory with the microprocessor, we have to follow some steps. So here we have a first step, that connect the required address line of the address bus to the address line of a memory chips, okay. Correct the required address line of the address bus to the address line of a memory chip, then decode the remaining address line of an address bus to generate the chip select signal using address decoding techniques and connect the signal to select the chip, okay. After connecting the required address line, remaining lines are basically used in a address decoding circuit to generate chip select logic. And then third, generate control signal for memory read and write by combining read, write and IOM bar signal and use them enable appropriate buffer, okay. So using all these steps, we can design a memory interface for microprocessor 8085. So let's discuss this with example. So here one example is given, that interface 1 KB of a EEPROM with starting address of 000H. This starting address is given in a hexadecimal form, okay, and 2 KB of a RAM with starting address followed by a EEPROM, okay. So here we have a 2 memory EEPROM and this RAM, okay. We have to connect EEPROM and RAM with 8085. So how we can connect or we can transfer the data with in a EEPROM and in a RAM? So we have to design a memory interface, okay. Here starting address of a EEPROM is given, okay, that is 000H. Here hexadecimal is used because here address of a 16 line, so 16 bit is quite complex to denote as compared to this 4 bit of hex number, okay. This address is basically in a form of hex number, okay. So to design memory interface, we have to follow the steps, okay. So step number 1, we have to connect the address line. So for connecting the address line, we have to decide required number of address lines. So how we can decide a required number of address line? So for a 1 KB of a EEPROM, 1 KB is equals to 2 raised to 10. K is basically for kilobyte, so that is 2 raised to 10, and 1, that means 2 raised to 0. So basically 1 KB is equals to 2 raised to 10. Hence 10 lines are used as a address line. Okay, for a 1 KB of a EEPROM, 1 KB is equals to 2 raised to 10. Hence, 10 lines are used as a address line, that is A0 to A9. A0 to A9 is basically used for address. So remaining lines are used as a chip select. So A10 to A15 is used for chip select logic. And for 2 KB RAM, 2 KB, that means 2 raised to 11, because 2 that means 2 raised to 1 and K that means 2 raised to 10. So basically here 2 KB that means 2 raised to 11. Hence 11 lines are used for 2 KB of RAM, that is A0 to A10, and remaining line are used as a chip select, that is A11 to A15 is basically used for chip select. Okay, so here we decide the number of address line. Now we have to give addresses to this EEPROM and RAM. That means for a given address locations we have a EEPROM, and for given address location we have a RAM. So how we can define that? So using this memory map we can define addresses. Okay, so how we can generate memory address map? So for memory address map, write basically first address line. Okay, so here we have a different address lines starting from A0 to A15. So write A0 to A15 like this, A0, A1, A2 up to A15. Okay, now first we have to define addresses for EEPROM. So here we mark EEPROM. So start address, end address. So here we have a starting address 000H. Okay, so we can write the data, and here we can calculate ending address that is 03FF. So how we calculate that? So remember, in a EEPROM we have to use A0 to A9 as a address. Okay, A0 to A9 as a address. So minimum value of A0 to A9 is basically 0, all zeros, and maximum values of from A0 to A9 address is basically if all bits are 1. Okay, so this is a minimum and maximum value. Okay, starting value and maximum possible ending value is 1, 1, 1. Now remaining are basically used as a chip select, and as here we have given that in a EEPROM, that EEPROM has a starting address 000. So this A10, A11, 12, 13, 14, 15 is used as a chip select, but here we have given that this starting address is 00. So we mark 00 over here, and as this only A0 to A9 is used as an address, remaining is used as a chip select. So both the lines, starting address or ending address, has the same bits. Okay, so both the has a same value. So if we convert this in a hexadecimal form, we can convert this numbers in hexadecimal by grouping of 4 bits. Okay, so make a group of 4 bit and write address. So here starting address of this EEPROM is 000, and ending address is F30. So this is how we can define that starting address and ending address of a EEPROM. Now for a RAM, we have this kinds of RAM structure. Okay, so maximum value of RAM with starting value is 000, and for RAM we have to use address line starting from A0 to A10. So maximum value of this is basically 000, and this A0 to A10 is right like this 000, and maximum value of this is basically 1. Okay, and here we have to use total A0 to A10, total 11 address line. Okay, so all 11 address lines are used, and remaining are basically used as a chip select. Now if we define this 000, so it will select EEPROM. So to differentiate EEPROM and RAM, we have to use some kinds of logic. We can either make A15 1 or A14 1, 13 1 or A12 1. Okay, we can make one any of the line for a chip select logic. So in this example, this A11 is basically enabled, that means it will be 1. So whenever this A15 0, 14 0, 13 0, 12 0 and A11 is 1. So this RAM is selected, and when all the bits of A11 to 15 is 0, so EEPROM is selected. Okay, so using this kinds of logic, this memory address map is your design. Now how we calculate address? So by making a group of 4, write a hex number for address. So starting address of a RAM is 0800H and the address is 0FF. Okay, so this is how we can define address to EEPROM and RAM, and then we can design a interface with 8085. Okay, so here 8085, then here there is a latch. This latch is basically used to demultiplex data and address. Okay, so here A0 to A7 and then A8 to A15. So here address bus A0 to A15, here data bus D0 to D15. Here this control signals are generated as we transfer the data in a memory. Okay, so memory read and memory writes are basically generated through this decoder circuits. Okay, so here IO/M bar is connected, read bar is connected and write bar is connected. So here this memory read and write control signal are generated, which is connected with EEPROM and RAM. Okay, with EEPROM and RAM. In a EEPROM only memory read signal is connected, in a RAM memory read and write signal is connected. Now in this RAM, total A0 to A10 lines are used as address. So A0 to A10 lines are connected as a address, and in a EEPROM this total A0 to A9 is connected with EEPROM. Okay, so here lines are connected like this: A0 to A9, A0 to A10, and remaining lines are used as a chip select. So here this NAND gate is used, and using this NAND gate logic, whenever this CS bar is equals to 0, so this either RAM or EEPROM is selected. Okay, so whenever this all bits are zeros, okay, here one bubble is used. So whenever any of the lines are 1, it indicates that these lines are basically selected. Okay, so to select the EEPROMs and to select the RAM, this NAND logic is used, and depending on the connections of this NANDs, either RAM and ROM is selected. So this is how this 8085 can be transfer the data with memory. So this is memory interfacing with 8085. Now what is input output interface? So using input output device, the data can be transferred between the microprocessor and the outside world. This can be done in a group of 8 bits using the entire bus. This is called parallel input output. Okay, so to transfer the data with processor to input output, so 8-bit data bus is used, and this called parallel input output. So other method is to transfer the data is either serially. So serial input output is, that means 1 bit at a time. So this can be transferred using SID and SOD pins on a microprocessor. So in this parallel interface, there are 2 types of parallel interface. So that is memory mapped input output and IO mapped input output. Okay, so there are 2 ways to interface 8085 with input output device in a parallel data transfer mode, that is memory mapped IO or IO mapped IO. So what is memory mapped IO and IO mapped IO? So this memory mapped IO means this memory mapped IO consider input output like any other memory locations, and it can transfer the data. So they are assigned a 16-bit address within a address range of 8085, and the exchange of data with this device follows the transfer of a data with memory, and this 8085 can transfer the data using the same instruction used from memory. Okay, so this input output data can be transferred parallelly through the same instruction used for memory in a memory mapped IO. And next here there is a IO mapped IO. So IO mapped IO treats input output separately from a memory. So to transfer the data as an input output form, here some port number is assigned in a 8-bit range starting from 00H to FFH. So input output device are assigned a port number within the 8-bit address of 00H to FFH. This user in this case would access this device using the in and out instructions. Okay, so whenever this IO mapped IO parallel data transfer occurs, so we have to use either in instructions or out instructions for accessing data from processor and input output modules. This is input output interfacing. So in this lecture, we discussed about memory interface and input output interface. Thank you.